Hi everyone, it's Joe here from Lawn Solutions Australia, and today I'm very lucky to be joined by a very special guest, Charlie Albone. Most of you will probably know Charlie from the work he's done on TV, but some of you may not. And for those that may not, Charlie, do you want to maybe...
Thanks for having me, Joe. I don't know if you're lucky to have me, but thank you for having me. And I brought the weather with me, which is nice because we've been having a lot of rain. But to answer your question, I'm a landscape designer, but I've got a landscape design, construction and maintenance firm. So we do a lot of residential properties, do a bit of commercial properties as well. But then my work on TV, I do Better Homes and Gardens. I do a podcast, which Joe is my highest rating guest, you'll be pleased to know. Write a book and do a few other things like that in media. But basically, what comes down to is I'm a gardener. I love gardening. That's kind of my thing. That's what I like to do.
And you're pretty new on Better Homes and Gardens, but before that you were on a couple other shows?
I did Selling Houses Australia. I did that for 13 years. And yeah, I've done Better Homes and Gardens for 3 years now.
Oh, 3 years?
Yeah, coming into 3 years now. But you don't really realise because we've been in this crazy pandemic world. So, you know, everything's been shut up and locked up. It does, yeah, it does.
And at the moment, obviously, you design and construct gardens and also probably do a little bit of maintenance.
We do the maintenance as well, yeah.
What are you been seeing at the moment, obviously, except for today?
Yes.
Weather's been pretty awful.
Yeah.
How's that impacted you in that world?
Well, everything in kind of the garden bed world has kind of exploded, including the weeds. In the lawn world, everything's just looking horrendous because it's been underwater. You know, the compaction just from the sheer amount of water is showing that in the maintenance department, all we seem to be doing now is lawn renovations in spring. So a lot of aerating, a lot of scarifying, fertilizing, just to try and pick up the lawns after this huge wet we've had.
I guess you're trying to open it up, trying to find a way to get rid of the moisture out of the soil profile by aerating and probably a little bit of top dressing. And I think we've started to see now, obviously a couple of days of warm weather, everything go bang. You're seeing some pretty sharp improvement in the properties that you've done that work on?
We are, definitely. I think because when we install them as well, we understand how important the drainage is. Even if you're in a drought, you need good drainage, right, to get the water away. So we put in the good drainage. So ours really respond well to the maintenance of aeration and scarifying. And as soon as it warms up, bang, everything goes crazy and you've got to mow every day.
I think a lot of people are getting frustrated at the moment because their lawns aren't looking as good as they possibly would be. We're actually looking for lawns to, we were talking before, looking for lawns to photograph and video. And normally this time of year, everything's bang, wow. But the recent weather's hurt us. But I think what a lot of people don't understand, it's not just the lawn staying wet, it's a lack of sunlight.
Yes.
If you've got a space that doesn't receive a lot of light and it's raining all the time, it's cloud cover and it's really, really struggling. So I think people have to understand that they have to be a little bit patient.
Yes. And stay off them as well. You know, as soon as you get a nice day like this, everyone wants to be out on the lawn. And when it's soaking wet, that just compacts it as well. So it's kind of this horrible cycle of just, you know, you got to fix it and stay off it.
Now we're a turf company, we're a lawn company. We're very happy to have you as an ambassador for our company. You've had a fair bit of experience with lawns over a long period of time, have you? Or is it just a new thing?
No, I think all garden designs, pretty much everyone I've done has a lawn in it. They're so good for so many reasons. It's not just a practical space for, you know, kids to play on and all that sort of stuff, but it kind of gives a breathing space to the planting around it as well. So it's really important, and a lot of people love their lawns.
Sure. And when it comes to lawns, do you look for a particular type for certain projects, or is it more what's best suited to the conditions? So you, for example, say, you know, I like zoysia because it's got a fine leaf, or do you just say, hey, no, let's look at what's most practical and put that in the job?
Well, it is what's most practical, but also what suits the design as well. If you've got kind of more of a tropical style garden, then I think a larger leaf like a DNA certified Sir Walter is going to look better than a zoysia. In a more formal lawn, Sir Grange looks amazing, but if you've got a lot of kids playing on it, or you've got a lot of dogs weeing on it, you know, the repair time is a bit slower, so maybe you'd be looking at Tiftuff, something like that. So you do have to consider all of those things.
And most of your projects, they're sort of around the Sydney region, are they?
All our design and construct are in the Sydney region, but we design up in Brisbane and down in Melbourne, in Tasmania, all over,
So I just think Charlie's mentioned about lawn renovations now, and it's a super, super important time of year to do that. We're mid-October at the moment. If you're thinking about jumping into a lawn renovation, I think Sydney and Brisbane, you're pretty well good to go now. It's warm enough. Melbourne, I'd perhaps wait. You do the same sort of thing?
Yeah, you would. Yeah.
The key for lawn renovations is to really wait until the grass is actually actively growing. So I think you've hit the nail on the head there. Sydney, good to go now. Brisbane, you'll probably wait a couple of weeks ago. Melbourne, let's just wait. So So what's the next sort of couple of months, couple of years look like for you? You still work every day in your design and construction?
Well, when I'm not filming Better Homes, which is 2 or 3 days a week, then yes, I'm working in my business design and construction.
Is anyone helping you?
Yeah. I've got a great construction manager. He looks after all the construction side of stuff.
Yep.
I've got a maintenance manager who looks after the maintenance side of stuff, and I work closely with the design guys and doing the business stuff as well.
So you've got a lot going on. You obviously had a very successful career to date. How did you get into this world? Like, you don't just rock up one day and do your hair and get on TV.
The TV side or the gardening side of stuff?
Let's start with the gardening side.
So the gardening side of stuff, I was trying to come to Australia to do a working holiday, and I was working my ass off. So I was working as a painter and decorator during the day, and then
from the UK.
From the UK.
Yeah.
So I was working as a painter and decorator during the day, and then when I finished that, I'd go to a pub and work in the pub. So I was working from like 7 till midnight. Yeah. Every day, getting £4 an hour. Like, it was horrendous. As I was traveling to the pub one night, I saw this car accident. So this drunk driver just cut in front of me and smashed into these gates of this big English manor house. And I went in and said, the driver that just took off, I didn't get the number plate, it was a black Calibra, I remember it well. Yeah. And the guy there, late Philip Binding, he said, look, I'm looking for someone your age to help me with the garden. Do you have any friends? And I said, look, I'm trying to go to Australia, but I can work on the weekends during the day because I'm not painting decorating. So that's where it started. Started mowing stripes in lawns and all that sort of stuff, all from that car accident. And I remember the moment I really fell in love with gardening, because I was trying to cut stripes in his lawn. He had this amazing cylinder mower that you'd sit on behind, and it was really incredible. I kept messing it up. You know, it was like a Dr. Seuss comic by the time I'd finished. And he called me over and I thought, here we go, I've messed this lawn up one more time, I'm going to get fired. And he took me to this like spot on the lawn with these fritillaria bulbs coming through. So they're like a small nodding purple flower, but they've got like this, the effect of the petals like snake skin. Okay. And it just took my breath away, and I was like, this is it. That was so amazing that I've just been hooked on it ever since.
And then, so it started over in the UK. Yeah. Why did you come to Australia initially?
Well, I was born in Hong Kong. I lived there for 12 years before I went back to the UK, or went to the UK. And some friends from Australia, but they were Australian, so they moved back to Australia. And I came out to see them to celebrate the millennium, and thought, this place is quite nice, I'll come back.
A bit warmer than home.
Yeah.
So you've probably transitioned then from probably all cool season grasses over there, aren't they? Something totally different to look at.
Completely different, yeah.
And then so you hit the ground running with your landscape business, and how did the TV stuff come about from that?
I met a girl when I first came over, and we were together for a period of time, and we'd recently broken up, and I got sent an email from my design association. Went out to everyone just saying, there's a new show, send in a reel of you talking in a garden. And I said to her, I might try this. And she goes, look, if you do that, you're going to be so bad at it. She actually said you're going to be shit at it. And you'll never get it anyway, and you'll never do the video. So that was kind of, to be honest, I probably wouldn't have unless she said that, put a fire in me. So a friend of mine I was living with at the time wanted to be an actor, and this American guy was like, you're the only one of my friends who won't take the piss out of me. Can you come and take a video of me in a garden? And it was like, so many years ago now, it was like 15, 16 years ago. It was all done on a picture camera, and you had like 30 seconds to do your video. So I walked through a garden doing that and sent that in, and long story short, got the job.
Does that footage exist still?
Thank goodness it doesn't. It's on a DVD somewhere. I don't know if there's DVD players anymore.
And was that to get on Selling Houses, was it?
That was to get on Selling Houses, yeah.
Okay.
First gig.
And then 13 years.
Yes.
Selling Houses Australia, and now you've jumped to Better Homes and Gardens. Is it a different animal for you than
completely different beast? So Selling Houses had so much travel involved with it. So one week the show went for 9 months of the year, and it was a week on. We'd be away for the whole week, and then the following week I'd be away for 2 days. So I had 2 young boys, and it was just getting too much at home. Like I was kind of at the end of my tether with trying to do the business, trying to run the family and work and all that stuff. So when I got the call from Better Homes and Gardens, which is mainly in Sydney, I jumped on it.
Yeah, a lot easier to manage, and
much easier.
You just mentioned 2 young boys. That's the family now. 2 kids.
Yep, 2 kids.
Keep you busy.
Very busy.
Yeah,
and, very busy.
And what are their sort of interests? I suppose they're primary school age?
Yeah. So they're about to turn 8 and 10. The 8-year-old is a natural gardener. I'll find him out in the garden watering and weeding and doing stuff all off his own accord. Yep. And the eldest one is quite creative. So hopefully I get one out in the field and one in the design office.
So Better Homes and Gardens are pretty happy. They've got a bit of a production line now.
Yeah. When my knees stop working, I'll move it to the kids.
Move them in. Nice to chat.
Nice to chat.
Thanks for coming along, and
pleasure.
You'll see all our subscribers to Lawn Solutions. We'll see a a lot more of Charlie over the next few weeks, months, hopefully years.
Indeed.
As an ambassador for Lawn Solutions. So we thank you for being here today, and we'll see much more of you soon.
Thanks, mate. Proud to be here.